Welcome to Applied Wisdom, Literature for Living Better. Today we're doing a deep dive into Patrick Lencioni's The Five Dysfunctions of a Team. We're specifically looking at the 20th anniversary edition.
That's right.
Now, if you're tuning in, you're probably already thinking about how to level up somehow, maybe in your career or relationships or just navigating group projects better.
It applies pretty broadly.
And Lencioni's book, it gives this really powerful, surprisingly simple framework for understanding why some teams just click, they gel, and others just seem to constantly hit roadblocks. So our goal today isn't just to list the 5 dysfunctions. We want to pull out some really actionable insights, things you can maybe start using right away.
Exactly. And what's great about Lencioni's approach is how he uses that fable, that story about a fictional company.
Right, the narrative part.
Yeah, it makes it less like a dry business lecture and much more like watching real human dynamics play out.
Yeah.
And it all really boils down to these 5 interconnected challenges. If you tackle them, you can genuinely transform how a team works.
So let's jump in. The first one, absence of trust.
The foundation.
Now, when Lencioni talks about trust here, it's not just, will they get their work done? He's digging deeper, isn't he, into this vulnerability-based trust.
Exactly. Vulnerability. It's about feeling safe enough to be, well, human, to admit you made a mistake, or you don't know something, or you need help.
Think about that. Have you ever been in a meeting and hesitated? Maybe didn't ask a question because you weren't 100% sure.
Oh, definitely.
That little flicker of hesitation, that often points right back to a lack of this kind of foundational psychological safety. It feels risky to be vulnerable.
And what's fascinating is how that reluctance ripples out. If you're worried about looking, incompetent, you're less likely to ask for clarification or help.
Which can actually cause bigger problems later.
For sure. Lencioni suggests you build this trust through shared experiences, but also, crucially, when leaders model that vulnerability.
You're show it's okay.
Exactly. A leader may be talking openly about a past mistake, what they learned. They can really shift the dynamic and create a safer space for everyone else.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What's one tiny step someone listening could take this week even, just to be a little bit more open in a team they're part of?
Could be small.
Maybe just saying, hey, I'm not sure I followed that last point. Could you clarify? It seems minor, but it's
a really powerful start. Because when that bedrock of trust isn't there, well, it feeds directly into dysfunction number 2, fear of conflict.
Right. And we're not talking about yelling matches or anything.
No, not destructive conflict. Okay. Lencioni means productive, healthy debate around ideas, around issues.
But teams that lack that trust, they tend to just to get along. It's that artificial harmony thing.
Everyone's polite on the surface, but the real issues, they don't get talked about. They just simmer.
Which leads to resentment, maybe? And probably bad decisions because not everything's on the table.
Absolutely. It's like everyone's walking on eggshells, trying not to offend anyone. But in doing that, really important perspectives just get lost.
Lencioni argues that good conflict, that healthy debate, is actually a sign of a strong team. It means people care enough to push back, to challenge ideas, to find the best possible answer.
He talks about mining for conflict, actively seeking out different viewpoints, creating a space where it's okay, even expected, to disagree respectfully.
So maybe ask yourself, how comfortable are you really voicing a dissenting opinion in your teams? What could make that feel safer, easier?
A lot of that discomfort comes from worrying about damaging relationships, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But ironically, avoiding the conflict, the real issues, probably does more damage in the long run. Those disagreements don't just disappear.
They fester.
Exactly. They tend to pop up later, maybe in less productive ways. So the absence of debate can actually be a bigger warning sign than having regular, robust discussions.
Right.
As long as they stay focused on the issues.
Okay, so no trust leads to fear of conflict, which then leads to the third one, lack of commitment.
Yep. Follows right on.
Because if people haven't really weighed in, if they feel like their perspective wasn't genuinely heard or considered, even if the final decision isn't what they argued for,
they're going to struggle to really buy in, to commit fully to making it happen.
It's not about always getting your way. It's about feeling like you were part of the process, right?
Precisely. Lencioni really hits this point. Commitment isn't about needing unanimous agreement on everything. It's about achieving clarity and buy-in.
Clarity. So everyone understands a decision and what happens next.
And that disagree and commit principle is vital here. It's okay to disagree during the debate, but once the decision is made, everyone commits to supporting it.
Think about maybe a recent team decision you were part of. Did you feel lukewarm about it? Were the next steps crystal clear? Did you feel like your input mattered?
Because ambiguity, that's the enemy of commitment. And if you don't have that real commitment, it's almost impossible to move past the fourth dysfunction, avoidance of accountability.
Yeah. This is where things can really start to kind of unravel, can't they?
They really can.
If people haven't truly committed to a clear plan, why would they stick their necks out to hold each other accountable?
Exactly. It's that feeling of, well, I wasn't really sold on this plan anyway, so why should I call out Dave for missing his deadline?
Right, and it puts all the pressure back on the leader to be like the accountability police.
Which just isn't sustainable or very effective usually.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is how quickly that lack of accountability breeds resentment.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, if some people aren't pulling their weight and nobody says anything, especially peers, not holding peers accountable, the ones who are committed and are working hard, they get frustrated, disengaged.
Right, they feel like they're carrying the load.
So Lencioni suggests that building that culture of accountability starts with being really public and clear about goals and standards.
So everyone knows what's expected.
Exactly. Then it becomes much easier and frankly more acceptable for teammates to address issues directly with each other, peer to peer.
So again, thinking about your own teams, are the goals really clear? Is there that sense of shared responsibility for hitting them?
Because if not, you eventually arrive at the top of Lencioni's pyramid, the fifth and final dysfunction, inattention to results.
The ultimate problem, he calls it.
Yeah. And this happens when individual needs, or maybe departmental silos, or even just personal egos, become more important than the collective goals of the team.
And it kind of makes sense if you trace it back. If trust is low, conflict is avoided, commitment is weak, accountability is missing.
It's almost inevitable that people will start looking out for number one, or just their immediate part of the puzzle. It's a natural human tendency, really.
If you don't feel that strong connection or shared purpose in the team, you focus on what benefits you directly.
Absolutely. So the key to overcoming this, Lencioni says, is relentless, consistent focus on tangible team outcomes.
Define success clearly for the team.
Yes. And tie recognition, rewards, whatever it is, to achieving those collective results. Not just rewarding individual heroics if the team itself didn't succeed.
So final reflection point for folks listening. Think about your main team right now. Are those team goals truly front and center? In meetings, in decisions? What small shift could help bring that focus back to the shared results?
It's so clear how they all stack up, isn't it? That pyramid model makes sense.
Like dominoes, you can't really get commitment without navigating conflict constructively.
And you can't get that healthy conflict without the foundation of trust.
And Lencioni makes a great point that even if you're not the official leader, just understanding these dynamics gives you power.
Absolutely. You can be a positive force. You can take small actions to build trust, maybe encourage a bit more open dialogue, or help clarify accountability.
It's not just about fixing broken teams either, is it? It's about proactively building stronger ones from the get-go.
Definitely. So for you, the listener, maybe just start by observing. Think about the teams you're in. Where do you see hints of these dysfunctions?
Maybe that meeting that feels a bit too quiet or agreeable.
Or that project where deadlines seem fuzzy and keep slipping. Just noticing the patterns is a huge first step.
And then, identify maybe one small thing, one actionable step you could take this week within your own sphere of influence.
Could be offering help first. Could be asking a clarifying question when there's disagreement, just to open the door a little wider.
Little things can really add up.
That's what's so empowering about this framework. It's not some massive, complex overhaul. It's about understanding these basic human dynamics and making small, consistent efforts to address them. It's definitely a journey.
Well, we hope this deep dive into the 5 dysfunctions of a team has given you, the learner, some really valuable insights and hopefully some practical ideas you can use almost immediately to improve your team experiences.
Navigating team dynamics is ongoing work.
It is. But remember, building those great, high-performing teams, it really starts with understanding these core principles and then taking those small, consistent steps forward. So thank you for joining us on Applied Wisdom Literature for Living Better.
Thanks, everyone.
Stay tuned for the next one. And hey, if this was helpful, please do like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel reach more people.